Hello, everyone, and thank you for pressing play. I wanted to do a little basic, I guess not a little, but a basic video on talking a little about credit, some things that you can do to help you put you in a better position for credit, your credit. And so I always like to use the knowledge that I have gained to try to help someone else. So out of my professions, one profession, well, I don't want to say it was a profession, but it was a job that I had. I used to be a bill collector and I learned so much stuff. So I am all about helping, sharing the knowledge. I believe that I have this saying that knowledge is power, but sharing knowledge is empowerment. I also believe that we as as a people, if you know the knowledge, you have use what you have, and so that you can get to where you're going, so you can better yourself. Be able to evaluate yourself, evaluate your situations, and do something different so you can move forward. Not let a whole bunch of things that stop you, but let us help you get over some barriers. And credit can, your credit score, your credit history can affect a lot of things. And some things that can affect some of the jobs that you're applying to, especially in the careers, especially the medical field, especially um, some of the collections, call centers, um, accounting, if you're in a position where you can move up the ladder and you're considered um, utilizing the company credit card or something like that. They give you a card, they're going to run credit. Or what I work in the Department of Defense contractor. So a lot of the clearances that go by for the people that get hired in, they run a very thorough um, credit check. So I wanted to share some things that I have done, what I've learned, and what I researched, and just some basic things. I'm not going to get into a lot of details or anything. Something that you can do to start better positioning yourself, even if you're not using it for a job. Maybe it's, you want to get a car, you want to get a house, you want to, you know what I'm saying, because your credit score and everything is based off of, you know, especially like interest rates and stuff. You can be a better interest rate, or even if you have a car like me and you're paying a car notes or something, and you want to be able to refinance so you can get your payments down a little bit lower. So some basic things that you can help, and you can start to be on your way. And I have a good friend that told me that you're gonna have to make some sacrifice. What are you willing to do, or what are you meant to sacrifice to help you better put you in a position for those things that you want? So those houses, those cars, those jobs. So, we make a lot of sacrifices, small sacrifices, but start working on you. I'm gonna start working on me. So first very thing you should basic knowledge to know, you get a free credit report from the three credit bureaus once a year. I advise you moving forward, if you haven't done already, go ahead and and get your credit report every year, and they actually mean every year, once a year, same time every year, you get one credit report for free. And so that's from the three major credit bureaus, and that's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. That's the three main credit bureaus. You can go on annualcreditreport.com to get it, but I advise you to be on a laptop or a computer and have a lot of paper that you're going to print it. Especially with, I think it's Equifax. They're very detailed in there. I think it's Equifax. They're very detailed and they use a lot of paper. So if you don't do that, because it's a process to even go through the answering the question once you get on there. If you don't want to do that, you can also call the 800 numbers and everything. I'm gonna try to post them as well as I'm talking, or somewhere. Call the 800 numbers, have them mail them, all three of them. And it does cost you extra if you want your credit score, but if you're in a position to do that, do that. And also, I want to add in there too, as you get them, and as it's tax season, it's February, and taxes and federal taxes about to start hitting, try to pay off one thing. That's what I do every year. Every year, I'm not perfect, like I said. I make some mistakes. I'm like, it's been on there a few years. I probably hadn't made no payments. Start better position yourself. So the second thing you do when you get your credit report, review it, look at it, take some time. I'm telling you, sit down, look at them, look through them, look for inaccuracies. Like, I had on there someone, I don't know someone, but it was a wrong address on there. Look at things that are being reported. Look under all the different categories. Look at your adverse accounts or your collection accounts and stuff like that. That's what I would start, because that's my greatest concern for me. Look at the accounts that, if you got like credit cards and stuff like that, make sure all these accounts are yours. And if it's not, go back and dispute them, or get them to call. Hey, you probably have to be on the phone, or you can dispute on the computer. I'm pointing at the computer like y'all can see it. But also, and yeah, because review the addresses, review any discrepancies, because I'll say this, I have had my my credit compromised twice. So I had to even go in, even if you already had your credit report once, I had to go in and set the fraud alerts. You get a fraud alert for free for 90 days. And if you do one of them, they'll put them on all of them. So go through there and look at everything. And if you need to dispute something, If the balance is wrong, if this ain't your account, go in there, because it's easy. I don't want to say it's easy, but you can get that stuff removed. I have had two things within the last, I would say 3-4 months now, removed because of the inaccuracies, or the stuff was already paid and still on there, or something like that, just something crazy. Like I said, I had the fraud, or my credit was compromised. I'll say that. So we got to know. So some other things that I want to point out to you, look for under your collections or your adverse accounts. That's what I'm focused on today. See if it's a debt, or a debtor, like someone that bought the debt, a debt buyer, or it's in, I guess, attorney. That makes a huge difference, because that's going to say if you you can negotiate not with them on this account. And before even all that, look at, when you're looking at your accounts, your adverse accounts, your collections accounts, look at the date that it will be removed. Because if I'm thinking about making some payments or paying something off, and it's going to fall off next month, personally, I'm like, let it fall off, because it'll be a waste of my time just paying the money. It was going to fall off anyway. And so that's just me. I don't mean say no reason. And then another thing I want to point out is the difference between let's see, the difference between the statute of limitations, what the statute of limitations mean, and how long something can remain on your credit report. Most of the states is 7 years, which anything can remain on your credit report. So that's the given. That's how long it can stay on your credit reports. That is going to be on there. Now, the statute of limitations means how long that company has that they can pursue to sue you for that debt. So I know in Michigan it's 7 years, so it can stay in your it's 7 years. They have 7 years when that debt was reported that they can sue you. The statute, yes, that they can sue you. or you can set that statute of limitations too when you make a payment on something as well. So be careful of that. Also, I know in Michigan it's 7 years that they keep the statute of limitations. Here in Texas, it's only 4 years. So a lot of when I first moved here, a lot of my debt started falling off, not because they couldn't. The debt could remain on there for 7 years. It was just like, oh, you moved. They acknowledged that I moved, and a lot of times the creditor's not even going. It's not even going to be worth them going after you, because it's so a lot depending on the creditor, it'll probably just fall off. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm leaving out anything else. That is some basic things that you can do to review. Also, I want to say if you don't have Credit Karma already, download that. That's something that you can even look at. I think it's the two that they have on there is TransUnion and Equifax. They update that and it's free every week, and it is free. And they have the credit score. Now, what I don't know is the FICO. I know it's two different, FICO and some other, but still, that's a free tool that you can utilize. They do have alerts or something hippie. That's how I know a lot of times when my credit had got compromised. I also have AAA. AAA has a credit alerting system for Experian. So if you have to, and that's a free thing, if you have AAA roadside service, they do offer that free tool as well. So definitely get your recurring reports, review them for inaccuracies. That's the first start right there. And then if you can move on to, do you have to write some letters? There's a lot of stuff on the internet that you can look up. So that is some basic things. And also, I think I shared, I was following this young lady on YouTube, where, what was it? Validation of debt and verification. She had mixed up the two, and I love this lady. I follow her or whatever. But the validation of debt is just making sure that you have when the debt first comes to that debtor or whoever the collection. This is probably a debt buyer. They'll send out a letter. They're supposed to 30 days. They say, hey, we'll make sure they can't collect on it. 30 days. I think Florida's the only one that's different. But normally it's 30 days. You have 30 days to make sure this is your debt. You're not going to collect on it or attempt to collect on it because it's against the law. And if they do, report that and get that removed. For real. If they call you and you're like, oh, they're trying to collect on a debt and they just got it, you can dispute that. Or and they'll probably remove it because they know they're violating the law, because it's either they're going to pay the penalty themselves or that debt collector or what. So the verification, the validation is just, that's the first thing. And you can validate and make sure that debt is yours. I don't want to say that's your responsibility, but you can ask for validation of debt. Hey, what do they have on file? Like, oh, if there's someone say Sprint has a phone, you have a bill or something, it's on your collections and they have in your name, you call them like, I need validation. They supposed to send it out to you. And if they don't send out what they have to you within 30 days, and I'm getting on the extra now, I told her I wasn't going to do this. If they don't send it out to you in 30 days, call them back and have it removed. I guarantee you'll have it removed. They're supposed to send you what they have on file. And sometimes they don't have anything. And if you don't follow up, guess what? It's still going to be on there. Now, the verification is something that they do, like the collections agent or the CSR, the customer service, when you call, blah, blah. They're supposed to ask certain things to verify that you're that person that belongs to that debt, because they're not supposed to be giving out that information to anybody other than you. So if they're going to ask you for your last four, your social security number, your address, they probably updating at the same time they ask you for your address and everything. But as long as they got their social security number and your name, they should be good and be able to proceed forward and everything. So I've said a little bit too much. I know I gave a little bit more information, but if y'all have any questions or anything, I do plan on, I kind of want a partnership with somebody to do a credit workshop. I kind of just spilled a lot of the beans or whatever, but the credit basics. But just be sure you put yourself in the best position to review and look at your credit report and stuff. I knew somebody that had a whole house in their name and wasn't there. So guess what? It was their sister. So it's best that you review. And if you care about your credit report and where you want to go and move forward, go ahead and look at it. And y'all getting these taxes and stuff back, go ahead and look at it and say, and you know that that debt is yours and you got enough money to pay it, go ahead and pay it off. And once, oh, one more thing, and once you do pay it off or you make a payment, you can ask them if they're going to remove it. Some of them will, some of them won't. As long as they report it as paid with a zero balance. Or they might mark it paid, and you settled the balance or something that's paid, but follow up and get that, and not get it in writing, but get it that you paid off the balance. Tell them to send you a letter. If they say, oh, you got to wait 3 to 7 days once the payment is clear, you make sure you call back and tell them to mail you or email or something. Somehow you're going to get this, and keep that forever. Keep that letter forever. And I done had, I was trying to end the video, but I done had an account that came back. They end up they end up selling it, and they say, oh, I said, nope, I paid that. I have the letter. It's best to keep them letters forever and ever. That way it'll come, because that's what debt buyers do. They take it, they buy the debt. That's what these collection companies, what I'm saying, when you owe Visa and you ain't paid them, they probably sell it off so they can get the collection on them or something like that. So you got to be able to be consistent, persistent, and follow up, because you the only one is responsible for your credit. You the only one can fix it. You the only one can envision your dreams and things that you want to do. And if it's going to involve your credit and your credit score, how much you're going to pay, work at it. Just work at it, right? So if anybody got any ideas or anything, or like I said, what I was finna say, I have a with my nonprofit, I have an Excel program, and one part of that program is doing workshops, and I do want to do a workshop on credit. So if anybody out here willing to partnership with me and we can do a workshop, get together, definitely hit me up. That way we can get together, because I really, again, knowledge is power, but sharing knowledge is empowerment. And then utilize these free tools that's available to you. So use what you have so you can get to where you're going. Okay? And that's lower all this stuff in your credit, a higher credit score. Okay? It's going to make a whole world of difference. All right?